Hello everybody, I hope y'all well. Hope that y'all can hear me. I'm pretty sure you can hear me. But yeah, hope everybody's well. Hope y'all doing good. This video, pretty much all my videos is in regards to gang stalking, but this video is also in regards to gang stalking. But this particular topic is, basically part of some of the things that they do in regards to gang stalking, okay? Okay, but so today, basically what I want to talk about or discuss is the conditioning. So from behavioral conditioning to mood conditioning to environmental conditioning, all of that, okay? All of this is important. Okay, keep in mind, I'm currently recording from 3 different motherfucking devices in case the bitch try to delete any of the motherfuckers, okay? Excuse my language. But yeah, so, yeah, excuse my language, I'll try to work on my language, okay? But so let's just go ahead and get started. So what is conditioning? Okay, conditioning, it is the process by which behavior is systematically changed to trigger a conditioned and intentional and exact wanted response. Okay, that's what they do. So everybody that's involved in gang stalking, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, okay? It is the process of training or influencing a person to behave, think, or respond in a certain way through repeated exposure, experience, reinforcement, association, or environment, okay? In psychology and in human nature, which that's what psychology is, basically, the behavior of humans, conditioning refers to how repeated exposure and experiences gradually shape behavior, reactions, thought patterns, habits, emotional responses, emotions, all of that type of things, okay, all of those type of things. What is behavioral conditioning? Behavioral conditioning is the process through which repeated experiences, stuff like that, rewards, punishment, environments, and associations shape a person's behavior and reactions over time. So me, I'm a very calm person, calm, quiet, mind my business always, my whole life, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure, not even necessarily, but this, if even a person that knows me or don't know me, this is not even my true self, actually. This is me, actually. This is like an agitated version of me. This is the agitated version of me from being stalked like a bitch, okay? But, okay, let's continue on. 24/7. 24/7, inside and outside. Imagine how your behavior would change if a bitch listens to you take a poop every day. Okay? Every day. Not just showering, not just peeing, not just in your crib, but actually running into the bathroom. And in the bathroom the whole time as you take a number 2. It's very disgusting and sadistic and perverted. Any person on this planet will be disgusted by that because it is unnatural behavior. So this would be, technically we can use me as an example. This would be an example of behavioral fucking conditioning. Okay? Just conditioning in general. Alright, this affects habits, routines, social behavior, reactions, coping mechanisms, survival responses, and learned and provoked responses and reactions. Again, it is very sadistic. Okay, so other examples can be, a person learning to stay quiet to avoid conflict. Some people may do that. A person becoming aggressive after repeated exposure to aggression, to stalking, to abnormal behavior. A person learning, a good example of that would be a person learning confidence through encouragement and support. So think if you was, raised in a nice household, your parents shape you, okay? Basically stuff like that, okay? That would be another example. Behavioral conditioning is basically repeated experiences shaping behavior, okay? What is mood conditioning? Okay, this, again, pretty much we can use me as an example for all of these darn things, okay? What is mood conditioning? It is the process where repeated emotional experiences teach a person to emotionally react, respond, or feel a certain way in specific situations, repeated situations. Imagine not just one time, not just coincidentally somebody's just in the bathroom because you live in an apartment, they just in the bathroom because they in their damn crib, minding their business, they doing whatever the fuck they do. No, this is repeated exposure to the same abnormal step. This is repeated exposure. This is repeated exposure of me literally having to know that somebody's listening to me take a shit. This is repeated exposure to me knowing that somebody's actively stalking me 24/7 and my space of residence and my fucking sanctuary. Okay? This can shape trust, attachment styles, wanted fear or intimidation responses, emotional triggers, emotional nervous system regulation, intimacy, self-worth, self-trust, decision-making, irritability, all those type of things. So some more examples would be someone becoming distrustful after repeated betrayal, associating love with inconsistency and intensity, feeling anxiety, which I don't feel that. I think the gang stalkers are actually the ones who experience anxiety. They also condition themselves, which I don't even think that they realize this, but it's good. Okay, excuse me, you can't condition one bitch without conditioning the next bitch, okay? You can't condition one motherfucker without conditioning the entire fucking environment, okay? Feel anxiety around conflict because of past experiences or repeated experiences and exposures to the same abnormal behaviors. Learning positive emotional safety and regulation through healthy relationships. That would be a good example, okay? What is emotional conditioning? Emotional conditioning is repeated emotional experiences shaping emotional responses. Okay, some more examples would be chronic repeated stress can reshape reactions and decision making. Becoming emotionally guarded after repeated betrayal. Emotional inconsistency / repeated roller coasters can create insecurity and confusion. That's what they want. Don't let no bitch on this planet have you confused. No, you need to be aware at all times, okay? Repeated emotional pain can reshape emotional expectations in an unhealthy way. Emotional instability can slowly condition fear, defensiveness, and distrust. What is social conditioning? Let's see here. It is the process of people, and this is, all of it is, what they use, okay? All of it is, but yeah. Social conditioning would be, the motherfucking gang stalkers. Anyway, it is the process of people learning behaviors, beliefs, values, and norms that are considered acceptable in society or their social group. It happens gradually through everyday interactions and experiences, shaping how people think, act, and just, stuff like that. The cons of this, which this is basically what we're talking about, it can limit individuality. Gang stalkers do not have an individual mind of their own. They all work in fucking groups, okay? Reinforce stereotypes, biases, and bad behavior. It makes people, or can make people conform even when they disagree. Social reward systems influence behavior heavily. People often imitate what's socially acceptable and receives attention socially. Okay, all of this is clearly gang stalking, alright? Group behavior can override individual thinking, repeated exposure, increasing desensitization. Humiliation culture can normalize cruel behavior and cruelty. And then they start to, when in all reality they're not mocking anyone or anything but themselves and their group behavior. Okay, performative behavior increases when validation becomes addictive. Okay, no way no bitch on the planet can be addicted to a bitch taking the shit. No way any bitch on the planet can be addicted to a bitch that they do not know personally. That's crazy. That's insane and abnormal, and it's demonic. Okay, people suppressing authenticity to avoid rejection, conforming people socially and emotionally. Again, repeated social reinforcement can shape identity and worldview, which is why it's so many motherfucking gang stalkers, which is why everywhere you turn is the bitch hopping on the motherfucking bandwagon, okay? But obviously that's not normal, okay? But anyway, what is spiritual conditioning? It is the gradual shaping of a person's spirit, mindset, discernment, beliefs, inner atmosphere, knowing, and identity through repeated spiritual, emotional, environmental, and psychological influences over time. Okay, so this happens through spiritually toxic environments. Wherever you're being actively gang stalked 24/7, that is a spiritually toxic environment, okay? And they intentionally want it to be a spiritually toxic environment. Okay, and the main reason why it's very important for us to talk about this and bring exposure to it is because if we're the only people that know what is occurring, everybody else around, unfortunately, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They need, if they're not a gang stalker, they need to know what the fuck is going on because it affects every motherfucker. Okay, if a motherfucker is stalking me, if I don't have any privacy, that means nobody else around has any privacy. You can't stalk one bitch without stalking everybody else. You can't pull up on the motherfucking dollhouse with high beams beaming in my shit without your high beams beaming into somebody else's place. You can't stalk me and be driving past my damn crib all times of the night without doing this in the motherfucking parking lot. Okay, Miriam is not the only apartment over here. Okay, this is all part of conditioning. This is why it's very important to be aware of what is going on. And if you know something is not right, then you need to speak on it. You need to bring awareness to it. Do not sit there and take some shit that is not right. That is not just, that is not righteous, that is not logical. Okay? Alright, so again, this happens through spiritually toxic environments, okay? Draining environments, people, the scare tactics, the repeated coincidences. Again, nothing on this planet is a coincidence. Relationships, family, honey traps. Again, I always go back to Cole and Phoebe. That would be the best example I could give for honey traps. You know, you probably got your own examples in regards to the honey traps. Negativity, sabotage, survival mode, witchcraft, emotional atmospheres, repeated behaviors, and exposure. All of that represents a spiritually toxic environment, okay? With spiritual conditioning, it is very important to protect peace, okay? Yours and your surroundings and your space, okay? It's very important. It's very important. It's very important, okay? You know, your discernment, renewing your mind, guarding your heart, avoiding toxic influence and agendas, okay? You have to do that. You have to do that. And maintaining spiritual awareness, okay? All of these forms of conditioning are deeply connected. These repeated exposures simultaneously affects behavior, emotions, moods, thoughts, nervous system responses, beliefs, spiritual state, and identity. That's what it wants to do, but if you're aware, it will not do that, okay? It will only make you more aware. It'll only make you smarter. It'll only make you more powerful. It'll only help you to fucking cease all this, you know, stuff that's going on behind the scenes. When you're in a spiritually toxic environment, you will notice chaos. You will notice manipulation. You will notice fear. You will notice intimidation tactics. You will notice confusion. You will notice emotional instability. You will notice relationship issues. You will notice toxic dynamics. You will notice when some shit is off and not right. You will notice constant stress. Fight or flight will be activated, okay? Gradually and over time, this can lead to behavioral conditioning, okay? Behavioral conditioning leads to survival behaviors. It leads to, emotion, all of this type of things, okay? Mood conditioning leads to anxiety, leads to stress, it leads to aggression, it leads to heaviness, it leads to knowing some shit is not right. That's why you can't sit there and just take it. You need to call it out when it pops up. And if you gang stalk like a bitch, the bitch is always popping up, so you gotta always call the shit out. That way everybody around can be aware of what is occurring. Okay? Spiritual conditioning can lead to confusion, numbness, a cold heart, hypervigilance, and it wants to disconnect you from peace. It wants to disconnect you from source. It wants to disconnect you from yourself. It wants to disconnect you from your inner knowing. It wants to disconnect you from God and all of this, all of those things. Don't let that happen. No, 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 no. Okay, and I do wish I was a little bit, calmer, which is how I plan to, film this video in a calmer state. But per usual, I'm always forced to fucking record a damn video when I'm highly fucking agitated. It's very frustrating, okay? So my apologies. I don't want to be, so I'm going to try to relax myself a little bit. I'm pretty relaxed. But overall, the agitation of being GangStalk is very fucking dumb, okay? It's very just demonic. But so let me come back to reality so that this video serves the purpose that it needs to serve. And will serve. And is serving. Okay, whereas positive, uncorrupted environments, they welcome peace, they welcome confidence, they welcome discipline, they welcome spiritual clarity, stability, growth, discernment, overall healthier patterns, a healthier, greater version of you, okay? Anything other than that, it is a spiritually toxic environment, and it wants to do the opposite of those things I just stated, okay? So again, repeated exposure shapes people over time. And a lot of times, most times, you won't even notice until the conditioning has already taken effect. which that's, that's why it's very important to be aware, okay? And a lot of times where it takes effect is through relationships, reactions, your emotions, your expectations, your worldview, and your spiritual state. But not really. That's basically I'm saying you can't let it do that. This can also be done through behavioral inconsistency. So conditioning can also be done through behavioral inconsistencies, like people, strangers, neighbors, just anybody, the honey traps. Behavioral inconsistencies is a big one in regards to in regards to the conditioning, okay? The goal of the inconsistency is to create emotional confusion and confusion overall, okay? The mixed signals want to weaken your clarity. It wants to keep you off balance and indecisive and just like, what the fuck is going on? Well, no, you need to be in the know of what the heck is going on at all times, especially if you're in a spiritually toxic environment, okay? The emotional push-pull, it wants to create attachment confusion. Passive aggression wants to create indirect emotional tension, okay? That passive aggressive behavior, like a passive aggressive bitch is one of the worst bitches on the planet. That's basically a bitch that don't stand on the shit that they do, which is what gang stalkers do. They poke, provoke. But guess what? You're not gonna see that bitch face to face. That bitch not gonna poke you or not gonna pretend to poke you face to face. That bitch gonna do it behind closed doors. They gonna do it upstairs. They gonna do it wherever the fuck. They're going to do it behind some closed doors. They're going to do it behind some motherfucking high beams. But they're not going to do it directly in your motherfucking face. Why do they do this? So that you look like the motherfucker that's whatever the fuck. Well, no, bitch, I ain't that. You that. And you worse than that, actually, because you listen to me shit every day. You's a sadistic bitch. Anyway, let's continue on. These repeated contradictions, it creates distrust. It creates numbness. It creates isolation. Isolation is a good thing. But if you're not somebody that's not used to being isolated, then, but still, okay, inconsistency forces people into hyper-analysis. It forces a person into hyper-vigilance, okay, which we need to do that anyway. We got, especially in these times, we got to be well the fuck aware of what the heck is going on. All of this stuff is an agenda. It's even agendas on the goddamn commercials. And if you are somebody that's gang stalked, please don't, I hope that you don't have State Farm, okay, because State Farm, it probably is one of the motherfuckers that's goddamn funding partial of the fucking gang stalking efforts. Okay, why do I say this? Listen to the motherfucking commercial. What did I say? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. But bitch, I ain't had a motherfucking good neighbor since before 2020. So what the fuck you talking about? Like, what's the other commercial? It says, stop living on a prayer and get State Farm. Bitch, what? Excuse me, what the fuck do you mean? No, bitch, nobody needs State Farm. Fuck State Farm. Let's go to Geico. Let's go to Progressive. Okay, let's go to any other motherfuckers. Fuck State Farm. And fuck all the gang stalkers. Okay? Manipulation depends on destabilizing emotional certainty. Inconsistent, spiritually toxic environments can train anxiety, confusion, all of that. When again, the gang stalkers are the ones that are anxious, okay? The motherfucker, the people that are actively stalking you non-stop, that know your whereabouts non-stop, they're the ones that are anxious, okay? They're the ones that's chasing you around like they waiting for some shit to pop off, okay? They not gonna be the ones to pop the shit up because they don't stand on shit, okay? So there's that tip. And again, confusion grows where behavior and communication don't align, okay? Orchestrated events and people can psychologically destabilize a person. That's what they want to do. That's why it's important to be aware. Toxic, corrupt spaces and environments normalize dysfunction, which, no, I'm not with none of that. Repeated chaos changes emotional responses. Constant tension affects mood regulation. All of this is your nervous system. All of this basically not only is an attack on you, it's an attack on your nervous system. Okay? Fight or flight, survival mode. All of these is attacking the nervous system. Okay? These environments, again, they train and condition defensiveness and hypervigilance. All of these chronic tension and layers of conditioning can affect focus, Lifestyle, emotional regulation, and survival mode can become a personality, which is disgusting, instead of a temporary state. The nervous system begins to prepare for these things automatically, as low-key as shit, but you shouldn't be in fucking fight or flight 24/7, especially now when I'm in the motherfucking dollhouse. The dollhouse is a motherfucking sanctuary, bitch. You're crazy. You're crazy. And I'm always, even when I'm stalked like a bitch, I'm still at fucking peace, but I'm still human at the end of the day, and I know when some shit is not right. You damn skippy, I'm gonna speak on some shit that's not right, because, bitch, if you don't want me to speak on it, sit the fuck down. You don't want me to speak on it, bitch, don't be a stalking ass bitch. Now, if you want me to talk about it, then continue, bitch, and let's go on and expose it to every bitch on the motherfucking planet. Okay? And let's go on and get justice for all this shit. Alright? Okay. Emotional heaviness from this conditioning, as wanted, it can slowly drain motivation, clarity, and overall, just what everybody needs to understand, which I'm pretty sure everybody that's gang stalk already knows this. Chaos is a control tactic. And again, we all fucking humans, so again, it's easier said than done. But chaos is their biggest control tactic. It is their biggest control tactic. They love chaos. They fucking love it. They love chaos. Which is why they're going to rot in hell, bitch. So that's good that you love chaos, bitch. You should be getting used to that shit, bitch. Because you gonna rot the fucking hell, bitch. You gonna burn like a motherfucker. Aware. Okay? Conditioning through stress and repeated obnoxious behaviors. Okay, it looks like constant irritation, repeated conflict that ain't no bitch standing on. Okay, intentional provoking. Okay, we'll soon get into the provoking spirits, which basically that's what this goddamn conditioning is, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, provoking spirits, emotional pressure, agitation cycles, chronic tension, fight or flight, all of that stuff. So the nervous system adapting to it looks like overstimulation, emotional fatigue, emotional numbness, heightened sensitivity, exhaustion, distrust, and always feeling tense, unease. Okay, stress changes emotional regulation, which again, all of this is your nervous system, all of it. Okay, and well, you have to be aware. Okay, discernment and spiritual awareness. So luckily, with all of this conditioning, or just stuff like that, and just going through gang stalking, your intuition will become sharper. Okay, you will be able to recognize patterns faster. You will be able to sense unhealthy, unnatural, abnormal energy faster, sooner. A bitch won't be able to attempt to play in your face. They gonna have to go the other way. Unless they behind closed doors, okay? Because if they behind closed doors, then yeah, that bitch more than likely gonna be around you all day, or trying to be around you all day. Whereas face to face, no, they gonna go the other way, okay? As the fuck they should. Yeah, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. Okay. Yeah. Notice and manipulation quicker. Awareness through experience. Awareness through experience. Awareness through experience. And again, when they is doing all this to condition you, they are also conditioning themselves. Which is why a lot of times the gang stalkers don't move until you move. Because they don't want you to be sitting, they don't want to feel like you trying to stalk their ass. Out literally out here conditioning their damn selves is crazy. Bitch, you're crazy good. Because again, you cannot condition one motherfucker without everybody else around being conditioned as well. Okay, it's simply not, that's just not going to happen. It's not logical. Okay? Discernment grows through experience and awareness. Okay? And awareness changes what you immediately notice and tolerate. Okay? Confusion and manipulation cycles. Confusion delays decision making. Emotionally exhausted people struggle to think clearly. Don't do that. You need to be thinking at all times, okay? Think at all times. That's what you have a brain for, okay? Contradiction cycles create mental fatigue. Contradiction cycles create, I just said that, create mental fatigue. Instability weakens discernment. That's why you need to be stable. Emotional overload increases vulnerability. Constant tension keeps people mentally distracted. Okay, that's what it wants to do. It wants to keep us distracted so that we can't really be out here on our shit for it. Like, even and bitches is, and what's crazy is apparently these gang stalkers are jealous beings. When really, bitch, damn, how the fuck is you jealous? And I damn near basically just living a very humble life, actually. You know, I'm not even all the way up here, so what the fuck you hating for? That's crazy. That's insane. That is crazy. Because if Marion was up here, the dollhouse wouldn't be on the floor that it's on, but I love it. But the dollhouse wouldn't be on the floor that it's on. Okay, the dollhouse would be even more decked out. The dollhouse would be bigger if Marion was, so come on now. So what the fuck you really hating for? That's crazy. That's insane. You know, that's crazy. But I have everything I want and everything I need, and God always provides. Okay? And again, all of this is what they want. It's planned and it's orchestrated, okay? The manipulative cycles rely on emotional imbalance. Chaos becomes the strategy to maintain control. And don't no bitch got no control over this motherfucker, okay? If anything, we all have control over them, which is, you know, and this is clear as day. Again, I'm going to go back to the bitch that's actively stalking me. I have full control over this bitch. I have full control over where the bitch is at, what the bitch is doing, and whether the bitch is silent or loud or going, you know, I literally have control over that. That's insane. You know, that's crazy. That's insane. Tell me that's not crazy. That's literally absurd. Okay, that is flat out crazy. Provoking behavior and rehearsed chaos. The reactions are intentionally provoked. Okay, this video was provoked. I wouldn't have had a reason to make this video had I not been provoked to make it. Okay, repeated irritation conditions, emotional reactivity, emotional baiting creates instability. Repeated obnoxious behavior slowly erodes peace. No, can't no bitch erode my damn peace, but you damn skippy bitch, I'ma speak on it, bitch. Because I gotta keep the peace. Emotional provoking becomes socially performative. The bitch is putting on a show for themselves. Full blown putting on a show for themselves. I don't know how you putting on a show by listening to me shit, but that's what you're doing. I don't know how you putting on a show by being directly over my head as I record the video. Sound like you doing this back and forth is crazy. That I have a lot of power over you. A lot of power. And I'm glad that I do. Rehearsed chaos creates long-term conditioning. The overall goal is to feel powerful by intentionally disturbing the peace when there's no way on this planet the motherfucker that's stalking me or any other person that's being gang stalked, no way that they feel powerful by chasing us around all day. If anything, they're feeding us power, which again, and I could actually go into some, well, let me see here. How can I even word that? And again, crazy. So again, and the good thing about all of this is they feed us power by doing this. So it's a blessing and a curse. Okay, it is a blessing and a curse. Okay, fight or flight and survival mode. Survival mode keeps the body and mind on constant alert. Hypervigilance affects mood regulation and stability. Survival mode takes away natural relaxation and clarity. Constant tension affects sleep and concentration. Hopefully you're not letting it affect your sleep. Because sleep and rest is important. Don't let no bitch affect your sleep. The only bitch whose sleep needs to be affected is the bitch that's actively stalking you, which luckily that bitch don't never sleep, which that's a good thing. That is a blessing. Thank God for that. That bitch don't deserve to sleep, because bitch ain't gonna sleep in hell. Okay, and one thing about me, I'm always gonna sleep, always gonna get my beauty rest, always gonna get the hours I need of sleep, and gonna sleep peacefully and soundly. Okay, let's see here. Constant stress changes nervous system behavior over time. People become conditioned to expect chaos, which in turn, again, affects the mind and the body. So trauma responses often develop unconsciously. Distrust becomes automatic, which is a good thing because you have to guard your heart. It's very important to do that. Okay, emotional guarding develops for protection and self-preservation. In turn, this can affect communication and relationships. Yeah. Let's see here. Isolation becomes a coping mechanism. Emotional shutdown after repeated overwhelm and betrayal. Protection responses become automatic over time. Again, okay, that's your nervous system helping you out there. Energy and atmosphere shifts. Sensing tension in environments, emotional heaviness or numbness, feeling drained after interactions, peace being forced out of environments, atmosphere affecting the mood. Some environments feel emotionally heavy and toxic. This is what they want. And again, this not only affects you or me or whoever the heck, this affects everybody around. Conditioning affects everybody. It affects everybody. Okay, everybody. Alright. Energy is contagious if you let it be. Gut feelings and pattern recognition, which that's what they want. The gut feelings and pattern recognition, intuition, strange timing coincidences, noticing repeated patterns, discomfort before understanding why, and recognizing cycles. All of this is your gut feeling. All of this is pattern recognition, okay? The body notices danger before the mind fully understands it. Again, pattern recognition increases with awareness. Pattern recognition is what the fuck gonna save you for real. Okay? How to break conditioning. Awareness. Again, recognizing unhealthy, abnormal, unnormal patterns, coincidences. Again, nothing on this planet is a coincidence, especially when all of this shit is orchestrated. Okay? Questioning your surroundings and the dysfunction. Slowing down, reflecting on yourself and everything else around, but primarily on yourself, okay? And that's the good thing. I think the one thing about the people that are being gangstalked, we're very self-aware, okay? Very self-aware, very reflective, very intuitive, very much know what the fuck is going on, okay? And very much not with the fuckery, actually. Yeah. So discernment, recognizing manipulation. Again, manipulation is a form of witchcraft on top of the witchcraft that they actually do use, but that's another topic for another video, okay? Yeah, paying attention, trusting your intuition, and protecting your mental clarity, protecting your peace, your emotional boundaries, limiting toxic input from others. You shouldn't be getting no goddamn none of that shit. But when you stalk like a bitch, just limit that shit, okay? Limit it. Alright? Avoiding chaos, changing environments, guarding your heart, protecting your mental peace, again, and your mental clarity. And again, other ways to break the conditioning: solitude, prayer, journaling, what you personally like, whatever you think, you know, whatever popped in your head, okay? Healthier environments, emotional regulation, calming your nervous system, being aware, okay? Because I can even if I may seem like I'm agitated, I'm literally Gucci, okay? I'm literally good, and I would be fucking amazing if I wasn't stalked like a bitch, okay? And that's when awareness comes into play, and just being one with yourself, okay? That alone breaks the fucking conditioning, okay? No bitch have control over me except for me. I'm the bitch that reside in this motherfucker. I'm the bitch that was put on this planet. I'm the bitch that controlled this motherfucker, not no other motherfucker. Okay? And that's just what it is. Let's see here. And just overall, again, awareness matters. Discernment is important. Environments matter. Protecting your peace is important. And again, now that we recognize these things, these conditioning patterns, we must become more intentional about what we allow into our minds, our environments, our personal spaces, our emotions, our mind, our nervous system, and our lives, okay? It's up to us, okay? We have to do that. Protecting our peace is our greatest strength. It's emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual maintenance that we have to do every day, okay? Whatever that means to you, you have to do it every day. Condition happens gradually. Healing and rewiring is also gradual, but guess what? It's more effective. It's just more what the fuck it is. Discernment leads to wisdom, not fear, not conditioning or control tactics. Go inward and go to God. Okay? Now we must be more intentional about our environments, what we consume, what we're around, who wants to be around us, what we normalize, what affects our nervous system, and what constantly drains us, okay? So pay attention to words, pay attention to patterns, pay attention to behavior, pay attention to atmospheres, and how the overall effect that it's playing and has and wants to have. That's the main thing. Noticing the fucking effect that it's trying to have. Because once you notice that, then, you know, a lot of things becomes easier, okay? Protect your nervous system, rest, sleep, stillness, peace, quiet, balance, and emotional regulation. Stop normalizing chaos. I ain't never normalized chaos, no bitch, I'm not with none of that shit. Okay, you can normalize it, bitch, you already done fucking normalized it. Bitch done condition themselves to stalk me 24/7. Bitch done condition themselves to listen to me shit, actually. That's crazy. Slow down enough to observe your reactions, triggers, stress, and emotional patterns and environments. Be intentional, not reactive. The reactiveness stems from the conditioning. We are not conditioned. We are one with ourselves and source and God. Be that always. I really wish that this was a little like more like calmer. So what I'm gonna do is watch it and see if I want to redo it in a calmer state, because I really did want to be in a calmer state recording this. I really did. But with that being said, but you know what's crazy? Just dawned on me, I didn't talk about any of their conditioning tactics, which maybe that could be another video for another day. But they have a lot of ways that they condition, okay? They have a lot of ways that they do that, and I'm pretty sure y'all already know. So whatever tactics, I guess, that they use on you personally, those would be some of the conditioning, okay? Or some of the ways that they are conditioning. But with all that being said, you know, I hope everybody, I hope my people and, you know, God's people and anybody else out there that's a good person, I hope y'all doing well. I hope y'all doing good. I hope y'all taking care of yourselves, y'all space, your mind, your clarity, all of that stuff. I really do hope that y'all well. I hope that we come up with a resolution soon. I hope that God come down here and fix all of this stuff. Fix all of this stuff, you know, immediately himself, because no lie, God wants us to expose it, but we also need his like actual help with it. You know, it's only so much a human can freaking do when they being stalked like a bitch, whether physically or spiritually, or by fucking demons, by fucking witches and warlocks. You know, that's why all of this stuff is important, okay? Yeah. But if y'all have like any other suggestions in regards to anything, you know, gang stalking related, nervous system related, just anything you gotta say, or any type of videos y'all feel like, you know, tell me, let me know, because I, you know, again, I'm gang stalked like a bitch 24/7, and I got so much darn stuff to say, like topics on topics on topics on topics. It really just be the where the fuck to start, and sometimes you just gotta fucking start, and that's why, you know. And what will also help is everybody, even the people that comment. Okay, I really appreciate y'all for commenting. Do y'all plan on making y'all own personal channels to reveal this? We literally need to reveal this stuff. We need to reveal it. We need to expose it. We need to get it out there to the masses, okay? Because, again, everybody is affected by this. Everybody on the planet is affected by witchcraft. Everybody on the planet is affected by manipulation. You know, whether in person, whether behind the scenes, whether they don't know because they're uninformed or unaware. Even the fucking commercials, again, this fucking State Farm commercial talking about some don't live on a prayer. Bitch, you're disgusting. How the fuck did that even get approved to be on the fucking commercial? Because the whole shit is demonic. Okay, the whole damn shit. And I'm not with none of that shit. But, yeah, I hope y'all well. Hope y'all doing good. Hopefully I talk to y'all soon. Again, I got a whole bunch of damn shit I want to say. I could really just low-key sit here and fucking record for fucking days on end, actually. And apparently that's what the fuck they want me to do, which is crazy. That's absurd. But not really, you know. Yeah, I feel y'all, actually. Thank y'all for wanting me to put it out there, because it needs to be put out there. You know it does. But, yeah, hopefully I'll talk to y'all soon. And, yeah, we'll just go from there. I love y'all. Be well.